Hello lovelies, welcome back to Ebit Media. My name is Goodness and I am your host for today. Today's topic is the power of reading. Amazing, isn't it? Alright, with me here I have Deborah. Now Deborah is the founder of Joy of Christ Reward Drama Ministry. She's also a content creator and author. She's the founder of Jones and Personal Development Hub. Deborah is a mind doctor. Have you heard of a mind doctor before? Okay, she has passion for counseling and assisting particularly young individuals. So if you're young, meet Deborah. Deborah, nice having you here.
Thank you.
This is Black is Beauty. Nobody should tell me otherwise. Look at her, looking so natural and beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Come. Don't worry, we'll talk later. Alright, also with me here, I have Gold. I love this name. Gold. Alright. Gold is a leadership trainer and author. He's a brand designer and strategist who has successfully worked with several SMEs and big businesses across the globe. He's an international guy. Nice having you here.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is mine.
Yeah, I'm also feeling good seeing you again. Alright. Okay, so like I said earlier, the power of reading. So are you new to this channel? If you're new, don't forget to subscribe, like, and also comment. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a new video. And to our returning subscribers, welcome. It's nice having you here once again. So without further ado, let's get right into the discourse. Alright, Miss Debbie. Can I call you Debbie?
Fine. Perfect.
I've gotten a new friend. Alright, so what do you think reading is?
Okay. Personally, I'll define reading as an art of acquiring or assimilating knowledge
Alright.
through written content. So it doesn't matter if the written content is on paper or ebooks, or you find them online, websites or blogs. It doesn't matter. In as much as you are acquiring knowledge from a written content, that is reading.
Alright. I got some things that I used to remember. The definition of reading has to do with acquiring knowledge, and it has to do with written materials.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Okay, so do you think reading has power?
Sure, it does. I will just summarize as this: reading has its ability in the transformation and the enlightenment of the mind. When you read, you get transformed through the information, and then through enlightenment, it gives you enlightenment, and the enlightenment thereby gives you transformation of the mind.
So she keeps mentioning mind. Don't forget, she's a mind doctor. Alright,
Okay.
so reading enlightens you and also transforms you. Right, interesting. I love that. Alright, Mr. Good, the golden guy. Alright, so can you tell us the benefits of reading?
Okay, reading is so powerful. Just like you said, reading has the power to transform a man, transform him from inside out. I would say reading is actually, or should I say knowledge? Reading is to acquire knowledge, right? And knowledge is the food for the soul. So you are feeding your mind, and if you are someone who just feeds your body and your mind is empty, you would be irrelevant. Yeah, in the world of impact, you would be irrelevant. So, reading feeds your soul and makes you more, let me use the word, more alive, right? Now, then the very first thing that reading does is transformation. So, transformation of the mind. It renews the mind. It transforms the man, because transformation does not happen from outside, it happens from inside. And then several other benefits of reading is that it helps increase your focus. like I said, if you are trying to read something, you tend to focus on that thing, and your attention is there maybe for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and it tends to make you more focused. So if you are more focused with reading at home, you can more focus in your workplace, in your other assignments and activities you are meant to deliver, right? So that's one of the benefits of reading. Then another thing it does is to improve your memory. So the more you use something, the more it becomes powerful. The more you use your brain, the more it becomes powerful. It's opposing the normal, the way the world tends to, the physical things. If you use something so much, it begins to wear out.
Yeah.
But the brain is different. If you use your brain too much, it begins to get more strengthened, it gets more powerful. So using your brain, reading, let's say you read something now, you try to remember that thing you read. And then that's one of the reasons why we do exams. So you go there and then you pour it out. So your brain is memorizing, putting out what you have memorized before. And it's difficult for you to forget easily. So it means that you could easily now see things and memorize faster when you are someone who is good at reading. So that's another benefit of reading. And then another thing it does also is to improve your mental health. So someone who reads, someone who can be slightly more healthy, in the sense that let me say healthier, in the sense that he is not easily distracted by activities happening around. Maybe we were discussing earlier, she was like, reading, depression could come in at some point, but for someone who is reading, he could be distracted from those kind of stuff, so it's more focused on, and it has a way of improving your lifespan. So someone who reads will not die early.
I'm taking
Will
that
not die
one.
early, right? So, and then one last thing I would say is that reading helps improve your communication skills. So when you read more, you tend to learn new vocabularies, and then when you go out, you can speak with the elites. And then you are more accepted in those caliber of personality. So these are like just few benefits of reading. And the more you read, the more alive you become. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's amazing. Okay, the things I got there, I got all, but I'll just mention just two: food and long life. So reading is like a food for your mind, right?
For your soul.
Then and to your soul. Then also it's prolong your lifespan. So read so you stay alive.
Wow.
Okay, moving on. Miss Debbie.
Deborah is fine. Debbie is fine. Yeah.
I'm calling her Debbie. She's my friend. Alright, so can you tell us the different genres of reading?
Okay, we have the fiction,
Okay.
the non-fiction. We also have the poetry and drama. These are just the main category. We still have some subcategory under these various genres that I just mentioned here.
Okay. So can you dive deeper into these different categories, like you mentioned fictions and non-fictions?
Okay, so fiction has to do with something not real, like you're putting in imaginations together to get a picture, creating it like an online, like a real life situation, and most time it is for entertainment, to pass on morals, and to educate people. You understand? And under this we have sci-fi, that is science fiction. You can have romance, you can have novels, and we have some other subcategories under this. And moving on to fiction and non-fiction. Non-fictions are factual. So it's not a product of your imagination or what you just think should be. Some persons, when they think, okay, what if we have this in our society, they just put it down. That's not, we are not talking about fiction, and this is non-fiction, so it's factual. So you have this in your biographies or autobiographies, and we have it in our, maybe some of these textbooks that we use in courses and the rest. So they are non-fiction, they are factual, they are facts, they are based on informations, real life informations exactly that we got. And why for poetry? Poetry is actually meant for emotions, to evoke emotions. So they're trying to get your attention so you can connect with what you're reading, you can feel what the person is saying, and perhaps you're going through that, you can be like, wow, this is what I am passing through. So it's just to help you to connect to emotions, to evoke emotion. While for drama you have different characters, you have screenplay, it can come as screenplay, and the rest just it can be, drama can, you can have a fiction into drama, you can have your non-fiction into drama, yes. So just to pass on information, to educate people, or to educate the mind, to educate the masses.
Alright, so she talks about poetry, she talks about non-fiction, fiction, and also drama. That is interesting. Now moving on. So Mr. Good, the golden guy. I'm putting a name for you, the golden guy and Debbie.
That's nice.
Alright, so how can reading enhance knowledge? What do you think?
Okay, I said something some minutes ago that there's a particular adage that is said that if you want to hide something from a man, you hide it in a book. Because most people don't like reading. They prefer to joke around, to watch movies, to play and all that. And they don't know that some very factual, like she said, information that could change a man's life is inside of these books or written materials. So reading helps you. The main purpose for reading is to assimilate knowledge, to get knowledge. So there are other ways to get knowledge. You could watch maybe documentaries, programs, even listen to audio cassettes and all that. There are many ways to get reading. But reading stands out to be the most surviving mode of receiving knowledge. It has been there from ancients, and then it has been the best way to pass on information from one generation to another generation. If I tell you something, you may die before telling somebody else. But if I store it in a book, it has the ability to transcend generations. So that's like the best way to get knowledge.
Wow, this is interesting. Wow. So by reading, you get to know how. Right?
Awesome.
Okay, so is there anything you love to add to what he said?
Okay, just as he said, it's right. So I would just like to throw more light, like some of the informations we have now, they were being passed on. We had in the olden days, in time past, ancient times, we have scribes who put down these informations and they pass it from generation to generation. Because if then, as at then, there was nothing like audio device or video device with which you can take down those things, so it was passed down through maybe writing from generation to generation. Because if it's just hearsay, you can either add to or remove, you understand? But if it's something you read, you're open to it, everybody is saying it, this is what it's written. So reading, you are not just saying it from what I think. So it's a way of acquiring knowledge about either yourself or even the environment around you or the people around you, or about something you wish to develop, you understand? When you wish to build a skill, you can read to acquire such knowledge.
Alright, that is interesting. So from what she said, reading gives you true knowledge, like
factual knowledge.
Yeah, that is interesting. Alright, so still you, Miss Debbie. Okay, so how can reading enhance empathy?
Empathy, okay. We live in a world in which everybody, you have what you battle with, actually. So you have things you go through. Now, so sometimes you can be so choked up with yourself that you are not even thinking of others. And if you don't think of others, you can empathize with them. So now, when you read, your mind gets exposed. I don't want to dive into mind now. But when you read, your mind gets exposed to knowledge. And then you begin to discover that, wow, so people can be going through, maybe you picked up a fiction, a novel, and you just read it. And you begin to think, so people can be going through something like this. And you can link it up with somebody who is, okay, this person is behaving this way. Could this be the reason this person? And you can link them up together and you'll be like, wow, I didn't know, and I've been reacting negatively to this person. So I understand this person better now. So the way I'm going to react will be different. I'm going to look for a way to help this one out of, if somebody going through depression, sometimes they keep to themselves and they don't want to talk to anybody and they just want to be alone and just stay indoor. They lose interest in the things they love doing and the rest, and you're just wondering, and you're trying to get words out of their mouth, and maybe you are going about it the wrong way altogether. But if you go online and you search and you just add a glimpse, okay, I guess this person is going through depression, and you begin to search and you begin to see this, okay, wow, it's true, this person is going through depression, okay, how can I help this person, you understand? And from there you can empathize with them. You can bring yourself into the person's shoe and understand how the person is thinking and how the person is feeling. And the best way you can help people is to empathize, because if you don't empathize with them, there's no how you be willing to give them solution or find solutions for them, you understand? But if you can feel their pain, you can help them out. So reading helps us to empathize with people.
That is interesting. Like I read a novel. It's about this mental heal people.
Okay.
There is always a cause for it.
Yeah.
And okay, beforehand, like when it comes to mentally heal people, I don't care. I'm just there. But after reading this, I feel their pain. Alright. So let's say maybe tomorrow I get to meet someone that is mentally healed. At least I won't react negatively. Yes. So that is the power of reading. Reading is powerful. Do read. Okay, so the golden guide. So
Okay, can you permit me? Let me just add something about this empathy.
Okay.
I don't know why I want to say this, but new mothers pass through a lot. But most times we don't even know, we don't have an idea of what they go through. Some of them go through postpartum depression, and you don't know. Yes, they have their bundle of joy with them, but they are going through more depression. And you see them, some of them start thinking of so many things like, okay, how can are you sure I'm capable? They begin to have this, I'm not getting the right word now. As if you were trying to, am I capable of doing this? Do you think I can? Nurturing a new life is a different life altogether. So now, if you don't understand them, and many persons will be coming with different ideas, do this, do that, and they'll be scared. They don't know. But now, if you are somebody that you've already exposed your mind to reading, you understand, and you've read about these things beyond just you welcome a newborn, you know that, okay, there's something called postpartum depression, and you've read about it, and it has prepared you for that stage, you understand? And not only prepare you for that stage now, you can also empathize with other new mothers, you understand? And so, okay, I understand what you're going through. You might not, maybe you might not have given birth, but because you've read it somewhere, okay, do this, do that, you can feel their pain, and okay, this is what they are going through, and it's cut across every aspect of life actually. Okay,
right, that is amazing. All right, the golden guy in our midst. So what do you think, how can reading enhance critical thinking skills?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for that very good explanation of empathy. Critical thinking is not exactly the same thing as empathy, but we could say it follows the same process of building empathy. Because when you read materials, mostly mathematical materials, for instance, I'm an engineer, right? So we did a lot of mathematics, trying to solve a problem, finding X. And the more you're finding X, the more you're thinking. So you're putting your brain to work. And as your brain is getting to work, you are actually expanding the ability to think outside the box. So when you're faced with, so I tell people, when you go to school, you're not exactly going just to get a degree, to get a job. You are getting the experience that will make you tackle real life issues. So the knowledge you get from practicing, or should I say, or thinking on what you are reading, exposes you to being able to face some kind of challenges in life. It could even come as a pressure time, but because you have been used to facing those kind of problems before while reading and solving problems, it helps you to be more creative with your thinking. And then something else I want to say is that reading, as it helps you build your creative thinking, it helps you also solve more problems for the world. So because the more you are a creative thinker, the more you can think of problems. So and if you are a problem solver, you will become wealthy. Okay, let's go there. So because wealth goes to where problems are being solved.
Yeah.
So if you are a critical thinker, you get to solve much more problems. There's one other thing I want to say, but it seems it's skipping my mind. It seems to be skipping my mind actually. All right. So what I want to say is this: reading doesn't just give you knowledge; it gives you access to the frequency of thought of the person who wrote.
Yeah.
I saw on John Obidi's post one of these days on Threads. He said, "Don't just read to get knowledge. Reading gives you access to a thought pattern of the author. So if that person is someone who is higher than you in life, obviously you begin to get that kind of zeal, that kind of experience, that kind of fire, that kind of. You believe that if this person could do it, you could also do it. So, and sometimes what you get from books, you may not immediately apply them, but you find out that when the time comes for you to apply it, you just come. Right? So reading is never a waste. The fact that you are reading, it may look like, how am I doing this? But read it first. You may not know when you need it tomorrow. So that's basically all about reading and how it helps you build critical thinking skills. Okay?
Wow. Like they say, no knowledge is a waste.
Yeah.
That is indeed interesting. Okay, so we've talked about the power of reading. We've indeed come to realize that reading is powerful. So let's say, for example, someone that does not read, how would you advise the person to inculcate in themselves this habit of reading so they can get powerful?
Okay, I will start by saying go with a book everywhere. That's what I do. If you see my bag every time, there's always a book inside. So when I have some free time, maybe at work or something, I'll just pick out the book and read. And you may not necessarily have to go with physical book, you have your phone, so you could just go through materials, have soft copies of books that you read. So when people ask me how can I build a reading habit, I tell them just go with a book everywhere. And the fact that you know that I have a book I'm supposed to read, then you find time to just read. In case you're a very busy person, so you don't even know how to create time for reading. That single item, you can be in a bus or on transit, and you just pick your phone and then you're reading, right? Another thing you should do is to have a partner, accountability partners. Now, I have a mastermind community of young leaders, and we charge them to read books every month. So there was one lady who gave me a testimony last month. Throughout last year, she could not finish one book.
Wow.
But just this year, she had done 6.
Wow.
Because she you could clap actually. Because she is in a mastermind. She has people who are telling her to read. So when you are in a community of like-minded people who are actually building themselves, it gingers you to also pick that book and read. So sometimes you may not have the energy, but when you have someone who is pushing you, soon you have that momentum. You don't need them to push you again, you can do it yourself. Right? So that's basically 2 ways you can actually build a reading habit. First, go with a book everywhere to have an accountability partner. Thank you. I think she might say 1 or 2 things.
Of course.
Okay, I will just, there's some persons that they love one genre to the other, and so how do you move? I was someone, and I was intentionally who loves reading novel purely, and fiction novels, anything novel I can consume it like just so I'm describing you, right? Okay, so after a while, and throughout myself, I was a science student. I'm still in a way I'm still a science student because my BSc is still in the science department, in science field. But even what I'm doing presently, I don't think is related to science. But that's just a diversion. Back to what I was saying. So throughout my secondary school, what I was supposed to be facing is physics, chemistry, biology, and the rest, maths. But at every spare time, I get a hold on a novel. I have to read it, especially because I went to a boarding house. So during after the exams, when everyone is free, I get from the people in the commercial class or the literature class. Then I read through their novels or people who came with novels. So I love reading novels, anything novels. But when I graduated from secondary school, I met a man. I believe that was the man that made me understand what it is to read. I've been reading, I read books, I read my chemistry, physics, and the rest, but I didn't really understand what it is to, So I met a man, it was my pastor then, I was doing IGLB. That should be around 2013, 14. So it gave me a book. It was a spiritual book, something like that. So it gave me a book and that I should read. So I started gaining some knowledge from it. It was a biography it gave me. I don't think before then I've read any biography, except maybe for the ones you've seen in burials, booklets and the rest. Whenever I take up a burial, that's what I go to. So it gave me a biography. So I read the story and I was challenged. So gradually, I began to develop, it transformed my mind. I began to develop some likeness for reading not just fiction. And I started reading biographies of people. So it helps to enlighten them. And from there, I discovered that I started moving from biographies to reading main books like non-fictions, facts. And because, these biographies are also non-fictions. So I moved away from stories, though they are fictions, to reading real books that contains informations. So I also discovered that I love some author than the other because of the way they pass their information. So I look out for those authors and read their books because I tend to connect with them more. So know the kind of authors you want, depending on what you want to develop. You are acquiring knowledge. So when you're reading, you're not just reading anyhow. You're reading intentionally because you are trying to grow some aspect of your life. You understand? So now I started looking now. Maybe if you're someone who is being cumbered with fear and the rest, and you just been like that for years, you can start looking for people who were afraid. Look for their biographies. They look for the books they have written. Start consuming their book. You see that you start. So I started looking for authors that I love. Like I love this Mark Kenneth Hagin's book. Anywhere I get a hold of his book, like I love reading his book because it seems like I can connect with what he's saying. I can connect with the realities he's trying to pass on, whether there is fiction or not. I mean to say whether they are factual and their stories or they're just plain. I just love it. And what I did also was that I got books that at least there are some stories in it and then explanation, understand? And that's what Kenneth Hagin does. You see, he will write some stories then. So it helped me to flow with what he's trying to. I can connect with it. So if you're someone who loves one genre, some person they will say I don't like fictions. Or they don't like reading stories. So you can actually start with reading books that do not contain stories. Then look for authors that you like. Start reading their books. Then you can start moving gradually from that. Then read books that contains both stories and facts.
Right.
And that way you grow with time and give yourself time. Allow yourself to grow. Sometimes you want to just get there. Like I heard that this person read 12 books in 2 months. And you want to do it. You don't even know how many pages that person is. You understand? And you want to give yourself time. Don't be under pressure. But just make sure that you are not standing still. You are improving yourself. You're reading, and you move gradually from the known to the unknown. Yeah.
And then you become known.
Okay. You want to say something?
Yeah. When she was talking something about stories, I think generally a lot of humans like stories.
Okay.
When I say like stories, not novels.
Okay.
Stories.
Okay.
I like stories,
Okay.
but I don't like novels. I don't read novels.
Okay.
I hardly read novels. Unless there's a message that novel is trying,
Okay.
a very important message. So everybody loves stories. I could say everybody loves stories because once you are just going and there's somebody that says, young man, everybody suddenly wants to listen to what happened to the man, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
everybody likes stories. So what you do is, most authors I've noticed nowadays try to mix stories with their content. It makes the reading exercise exciting.
Yeah.
So you could pick books. If you're someone who like novels, you now want to learn some more serious stuff,
Yeah.
right? So there are definitely, like she said, authors who are like this. They are good. They can mix stories and facts, right? So when you get those kind of books, passing the same message that you want to learn, maybe you want to learn on finance, and there are authors who can use a story to tell you how someone actually moved from zero to so amount of money.
Okay.
So you follow the story and they pick the lessons in the end of the story. They will also give you the lessons themselves.
Yes.
So I'm going to write the book and I'm trying to practice that. At every chapter, I'm starting with a story.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I noticed that when I read books, the story keeps me glued to that chapter. So if I start a chapter and then there's no story there, I'm like, okay, what will I now? So you have to now start looking for such kind of materials that are not so cumbersome with facts and numbers and all that, and then pick those ones that have those storylines and mix them together. And one thing you could do to help you read broad, Okay, not just reading one line, one side. You could have a timetable for your reading. Mondays I'm reading on social stuff. Tuesdays I'm reading on relationships. Wednesdays I'm reading spiritual books. Thursdays I'm reading. So, or you could even say weeks. This week I'm reading on this book. You may not finish the book, but you're doing this week. So when you segment, it means you are now, because you don't want to just be one-sided. You want to be a balanced human being, right? So you have to now pick the different sections or different segments of your life and pick books in those aspects and read them. When you do it that way, it helps you to be balanced. And then lastly, if you're not someone who likes reading, you may not be someone who is so much good with reading. It's fine. There are some people who are more visual. They don't like reading. The once in a while they'll do, but they're not as reading as those who can spend hours. So what you do, instead of wasting time watching just movies, YouTube is a university.
Exactly.
So you could go there and pick as much content you need on finance, on life, on relationship, or just pick very good authors or channels, very good channels, good people who are good content creators. Pick their channels, go watch documentaries. I watched a documentary on Bill Gates' life. The name of that documentary is Inside Bill's Brain.
Wow.
It's on Netflix. When you watch that kind of documentary, your life will change. Because they're showing you how Bill Gates started his life, his whole journey. You're not reading it in the biography, you're watching the movie. Right? So though it's shortened, but it gives you the message. So you could be someone who just watch documentaries. Most of those documentaries will change your life. Right? So you read a little. If you're not someone who like reading, though I would say advise you try to read 30 minutes, 1 hour every day, and then you can now add these other aspects to make your learning more exciting. Thank you very much.
Wow. Have you gained something? I have gained a lot. Like they said, first of all, start with carrying a book with you always. Then find a group of people that love reading. Like they say, birds of the same feathers flock together. Then, like she said, start little by little. You don't have to, I want to start reading. No. Little by little, gradually, yes, you will get there. It's a process. All right, today's section has been amazing. It has been amazing. I love these two girls, Debbie and the Golden Guy. Wow. All right, see you again. Ebit Media. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
Peace out.